Hi. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? Hi, dearie. Welcome in. Welcome in. How many hours long will this do you plan to stream? This one I'll probably be streaming for at least 2 up to 6 hours, but there is another stream tonight. 2 streams in a day. Wild. Wild. Hi, Eric. Hi, M0. How are you doing? How are you doing? So, oh, and of course, hello, something stochastic. Okay, so first of all, yeah, how is everybody today? I would love to know. Second of all, where is my. There we go. Here's my little desk. I've got my little desk. I'm here. I'm at my desk. So, Pomodoro sessions. I have a manuscript that I need to edit. And I struggle to focus when I'm doing that. So basically, yeah, some of my collaborators have written a paper and I need to look over it. I have been told to look over it. So I have to go through and do that, and I thought Pomodoro sessions might work pretty well for getting that done. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. You've got a history presentation today. Hype. Good luck. Good luck. I'm sure you'll smash it. How am I doing? I'm okay. I'm a bit tired today, as always, but I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling like I will be productive. I'm feeling good. I haven't actually managed to get much done so far today. So that's not a very productive start, but that's why we're doing Pomodoros. All good. However, I wouldn't say no to a bit more sleep. That is such a mood. Yeah, same. Same. Like I slept a full 7 hours, but I don't know. I'm still tired. I'm still tired. I always think it's just like the fact that I'm getting older. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old and I just need to sleep more. But then when you look at people's sleep patterns over time, they actually require less sleep as they get older, but I seem to be doing the opposite. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just broken. Okay, so the plan for today. What is the plan for today? Yes, Pomodoro sessions. So I'm thinking 45 minutes of work and then a 10-minute break. And in the 10-minute breaks, I am in a in the shared space. So yeah, those of you who have joined us before will know that I work in like a shared area. I am not the only person here. So that means that there is a slim chance that I might not be able to talk during the breaks. And if that is the case, I will be in the chat. Otherwise, during the work sessions, I probably won't really be in the chat because, like, when I'm in the zone, I'm like in the zone, I'm like going to be focusing on what I'm doing and trying not to get too distracted. So, we are actually going to be working. However, please do feel free to post updates or yeah, like what you want to get done, stuff like that. You can post it in the chat, and I will read and respond to it in the breaks. But yeah, otherwise, I think it might be time to get started with the work. Oh, I feel like I needed to do a big stretch before I got started because, like, this is a paper that I've been putting off reading. Like, I've been told to do it repeatedly, and I haven't. So that's fun. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let me see very quickly if my thing has finished. It has. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Right, so, Pomodoro. I have forgotten what my command is. Pom start 50. That should do it. That should do it. Wait, is it 50 or 40? What are we doing today? 45. Okay, I've already forgotten what I'm doing. Good start, good start. Okay, so, I will start the timer for 45 minutes. Let's crack on with some work, and then I will talk to you then. Good luck, everybody, and let me know what you're working on. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Oh my gosh. Okay, so the chat was actually going. There's more of you than I expected talking in chat today, which makes me happy. I'm very happy. So, first of all, hello, Countess Variona, and hello, Axel. Lovely to see you both. Welcome in. I hope you're doing good. And I hope you got that tea that you were after, Axel. I'm good, thank you, Countess Variona. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing a manuscript. I'm writing a paper. Well, I'm not writing a paper. I'm editing a paper. But yeah, which is fun, tiring, but fun, intense. How's my work rate? I have got through about 10 pages. Yeah, 9 pages. I've got through 9 pages, and it's a 20-page manuscript. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going over it once to like just absorb all of it, and then I will go back and make edits because yeah, there's some. Overall, it's pretty good. I don't even know why they've asked me to review it. Like, it doesn't need a review. Let me start the timer, the break timer. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't even really need a review. Like, it's really good already. I guess I'm just adding in like occasional citations, and that's probably my main job is that and like grammar fixes. Because honestly, it doesn't need me. I think they've asked me to review it because I was involved in the data collection and they want to add me on as an author, so that makes me happy. We always love having another paper because for those of you that don't have any like link to academia, basically like if you're a scientist, the number of papers that you can publish like in scientific journals and in book chapters and stuff like that is basically that's what determines whether you get promoted or not. So yeah, another paper is always good. Good paper means less work for me. That's very, very true. Okay, so there was, let me go back to before the first 45-minute Pomodoro in the chat. So if you say things now, I probably won't see it. I apologize. I will catch up though. Okay, right. So, Deary, so you're just doing work-related stuff, really boring, but at least you can have this kind of stream on the side. I'm glad I can at least help in some way. Yeah, that's a mood. I think that when I'm reviewing a paper like this, it's kind of, I kind of feel like, yeah, this is kind of boring, but it's the stuff that needs to be done. I've got another paper that I need to review as well, but that one's going to be a very big job. That's going to be like a whole day or two, because I basically have to rewrite it, which is always fun. I think the music's a little bit loud. There we go. But yeah, that's like a big part of my job is just like reviewing or editing or writing. That's honestly the majority of my job, I think. Especially at the minute when I'm like writing up my PhD thesis. So I'm trying to at least do like basically all of my chapters for my PhD are like in a draft form. So I need to write them up properly. And I'm aiming to do like one full draft every 2 or 3 weeks. Because that will mean that I'm not like massively overwhelming the people who need to then review my work. But it's also you know, kind of maintain the pace on it. But it's kind of hard. It's a lot of work, especially when other things like this keep cropping up. Yeah. Okay, so DocRect. First of all, hello DocRect. Welcome in. You asked, why do you think so many VTubers are neurodivergent? That's a really interesting question, and something that I actually think about quite a lot. Because there's definitely a lot of VTubers that are identifying as neurodivergent, right? I see it a lot. I'm wondering whether it's kind of, I feel like it's probably one of those things where you can't like identify a solid like cause and effect. It's, I can see it kind of being like a two-way type of thing. So probably VTubing as a format for making friends or for talking to people, for socializing, or even just for like sharing your hobbies is really, it's a really good format for people who are neurodivergent. So for example, like, you know, autistic people that process written language better than spoken language. You know, if you can rely on chat instead of having to like listen to other people talking to you, that's going to really help. It's also, from what I've noticed about streaming, it's also something that seems to be done by either people who have a job that they can work around. So like me, I'm an example. I'm doing a PhD and I also have a remote part-time job. And both of them, like they would let me stream as long as it's like, even my work, I can stream my work as long as it's blurred in the way that I'm doing now. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be. Sometimes I'm working on like open source stuff or whatever, and I can just share it, like it's fine. The other type of people that I've noticed that tend to stream are people who don't really have they don't have much of a choice. So for example, they might have a disability and be stuck at home all the time. And like, what's a better way to talk to people than to stream? Like, there's going to be somebody in your chat probably. So I think it's probably, yeah, a mixture of the fact that as a hobby / career, streaming is very accessible, assuming that, you know, you kind of get the lucky breaks that you need in the beginning, and you market yourself in the right way. And yeah, also because I do wonder whether there's like a hyperfixation type of thing going on as well. So, you know, most streamers are very, very into games, or they're very, very into something specific. Like, I don't know, if they do coding streams, they're really into coding. If they are big on anime and they do like anime content creation, you know, that could be their hyperfixation. So yeah, I wonder whether it's kind of a mixture of those things. And then VTubing in particular, like, you don't have to look a certain way. You can basically be whoever you want. You don't have to, like, if you would rather put on a character and if that's how you cope, you can do that. If you want to be yourself, but without the pressure of like knowing that people are watching you. So for example, you know, if somebody's got tics, like they've got sudden repetitive movements, or like compulsions to do things, that's hidden by a VTuber avatar. You can't see them do that necessarily. So yeah, I think there's lots of layers as to why. But I do wonder if it's also like a vocal minority type of thing. Yeah. Also, just wanted to say hello, Tiny Toxic Tofu. Thank you for dropping in. I don't know if you're still here. You're probably not. But yeah, thank you so much for dropping in. And you're welcome for the raid. Welcome in, Green Guy. Is it okay to ask psychology questions? It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I always am happy to answer psychology questions. The only thing is that I can't give any kind of like advice or professional opinions unless it's like social psychology, because yeah, I'm not a clinician. I'm not qualified to do things like that. I can't like help you with your problems. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on learned helplessness and why there is not that much research that I can find about it? I actually don't know. I don't know anything about learned helplessness. My understanding is that as a theory, it's kind of been replication crisis. So the theories have moved on from then, basically. That is my understanding, but that might be wrong. Learned helplessness. Yeah, because I don't, my research is like nothing to do with classical conditioning or depression or anything like that, so I honestly don't know. Learned helplessness theory, let's see. I mean, wait, let me look at, so the place to go if you want to look up research is Google Scholar. I know you can't see it at the minute because it's blurred, but it's just scholar.google.com. Or you can just Google Scholar, like, you will find it. But like, when I type in learned helplessness, it brings up 500,000 results. So I think there probably is a fair amount of research. It might just be that either it's moved on and there's other theories that explain it better, or maybe it's just not trendy. Like, scientists are people too. We like to do things that are trendy. Like my research, so I've just typed in learned helplessness with like quotation marks around it because that's how you do a like exact search, and it's come up with 174,000 results. So yeah, but I think from a skim, it seems like a lot of them were in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, it probably is just not either not trendy or things have moved on since then. But yeah, scientists are humans too, and we fall for trends. My research area has like really exploded in recent years, which is very stressful because now there's suddenly like hundreds of paper coming out every year, and before it was like 50 papers, and I could read all of them. So that's a thing. Welcome in, Forsaken Gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Let's see. Oh yeah, and thank you for the follow, Chai Latte Nebula, which is like the cutest name ever. I love that. That's such a cute name. Axel, yeah, I hope you got your tea and your snacks, and I hope you're enjoying them. I think I'm almost caught up with chat now. Or maybe not actually, oh dear. Let's see. I'm pretty lovely, just getting ready to work. I'm glad to hear it, Countess Variona. I'm very glad to hear it. Okay, the timer's gone and I haven't played any Cookie Clicker yet, so I'm gonna add another... let's do another 5 minutes so that I can at least catch up with chat. Then again, boring good. The last thing you want is getting worked up editing a paper. That's true. It has actually happened. I've actually got really annoyed like reviewing a paper before, and it's not fun. It's very stressful. Like when you're reading it, like unfortunately I've had a situation where I've had a paper and I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't actually understand what you're saying. So I've had to like make some quite intense comments and changes and stuff. It does happen, but you know, yeah. That's effectively all of my job. I'm an aerospace engineer. Wow, aerospace engineer. That's so cool. I'd love to hear more about that. I think it would be boring against stimulating. Yeah, true. And also VTuber would help with masking. Yes, that's such a good point. I think that's kind of what I was hinting at with the you can play a character if that's what you prefer to do. But yeah, no, masking, definitely. There's also the parallel play thing. I think it's like chatting in the sense that you can take a conversation at your own pace, but it just feels more like a more real connection rather than pure text. That's a really interesting point. Yeah, because you can kind of like, if you're behind on chat, like it's not stressful. Like you can just go back when you're feeling capable of doing it. So I think that's a really interesting point. Also, hi Tayu, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Sounds like something that needs to be a paper on. Yeah, for real. I would love to do research on like neurodivergence and VTubing. I think that would be so interesting. I am way behind, yes. When am I not? True. I am often behind on chat. Why is it so hard for society to change, even when it's apparent that they're doing something wrong? Oh, that's a big question. So we have a bias in favor of the status quo, basically. We have a bias in terms of how things are. In general, people tend to prefer it. But there's also, obviously, like political ideology plays a role. And there are certain political ideologies which people that hold those ideologies are more inclined to see change as threatening, whereas people that hold other ideologies are more inclined to see change as a positive. But then it also depends on the direction of the change. So there's also people that want things to change back to how they were traditionally, and then there's people that want things to change like in a new direction, if that makes sense. It's very complicated. I could probably do an entire I know for a fact I could do an entire 2-hour lecture about exactly that topic. And if that's interesting to people, then maybe I will. Because that's something I know about. I thought that learned helplessness was a kind of learning. Kind of. It's my understand. Again, this is not my research area at all, so I might be saying nonsense words. But my understanding is that it's basically an outcome of operant conditioning. Or is is it classical conditioning? I forget. It's one of the two, but it's basically pairing like an unpleasant stimulus with an inability to escape the stimulus, and then you kind of just it ends up with the individual. I say individual because it could be a person, it could be like a non-human animal, could be anything. Like we see this in all sorts of animals as well. But it results in like basically just you don't bother even trying anymore. And it's more likely to happen when the punishment or the negative reinforcement is coming randomly as well. So you can't predict the exact thing that is that is that is causing it. So yeah, it's fun. It's very fun. It's not fun at all. It's terrible. It's inertia. Society is big and has a lot of moving parts in opposite directions, so changing direction takes a while. This is also very true. I think people don't give credit to how big and complicated complex systems are. Yeah. Sorry, how big and complex systems societies are even. There we go. That's what I meant. Also, thank you for adding 10 minutes onto the timer. Something stochastic. It's not only devs who seem to always follow the latest trend of their field. Yeah, no, it's really not. Yeah, I'm guessing that at the minute it's machine learning. Scientists are jumping on that too. Scientists love that machine learning at the minute. I keep seeing loads of things where it's like, we did this kind of standard regression analysis, except this time it's machine learning and the results are pretty much the same. So that's pretty funny. Human, damn, I thought you were an elf. So true. Hence the names learn how. Yes. Apologies for the background noise. I'm so sorry. As I said, I am in a shared space right now. Not sure if it's directly related to psychology, but I'll give my question a shot. During those last few months, I've had someone in my mind. Not a big deal, but my only issue is that I'll often overthink about this person and will have thoughts that will end pretty much nowhere, and that's quite bothersome. I think that's pretty much exactly the type of thing I can't help with, unfortunately. That sounds like something that you'd need to talk to somebody with clinical expertise about. I really have no idea at all. I'm very much like how people think about their social identities and how those social identities can clash with each other and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know anything about overthinking, unfortunately. The recent years must have been interesting from a psychological perspective, though. I mean, between the pandemic and its aftermath, it must have been interesting for social psychology. Oh yeah, it has been. I think that the pandemic actually has done a lot of good for the field in a weird way, but also some not so good stuff. So we couldn't bring people into the lab anymore. We couldn't talk to them. We couldn't run actual in-person experiments. So we had to move a lot of stuff online. The upside of that is that it's a lot easier to recruit people to do online experiments. So yeah, we got a lot more, like a lot bigger data sets. There was also a bit of a move towards kind of like observational data. So things like, like social media, for example, like people's social media use patterns. But yeah, it's also had some downsides. We got a lot more attention as a field. With that also came, so for example, in the UK, there was a lot of social psychologists on the government's like advisory board. Obviously, because it's all about people's behaviour, especially social behaviour, and trying to stop them being social during lockdowns. And I think that's probably had a little bit of a negative impact on our image as a field, to be honest, because some of the recommendations that they gave, they didn't work as well as people thought they would. And that probably ties back to the replication crisis that we've had, because social psychology has been really, really hard hit by the replication crisis. We've had a lot of our findings, like we attempt to repeat the experiment basically, and then we basically find that the results are totally different, or that there wasn't an effect when we thought there was, something like that. And And unfortunately, some of those um, incorrect isn't the right word, but the kind of like uncertain results made their way into the pandemic advising, and that I think has caused a few problems. Thank you for the hydrate, M0. I will do that. Yummy, yummy water. One mentioned being insecure about her lack of expression and how VTubing helps with that. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I kind of feel that actually, because I just have a kind of neutral or smiling expression 24/7. So, so like at least, you know, with a VTuber model, I can do this, or I can do this. You know, there's a bit more variation. Although I tend to forget the toggles, I forget about them. But yeah, no, definitely, and that's probably it helps to express herself in a way that she struggles with in everyday life. Like that must be a really unique thing and a really nice thing. I read The Reactionary Mind and its explanation of right-wing authoritarianism and other related traits. Oh, I could, like, honestly, like a big chunk of that lecture that I would give would be on right-wing authoritarianism and social dominance orientation. Like, I find them so interesting. But yeah, it's although I don't actually know what The Reactionary Mind is. I feel like I've heard of it. It's probably one of those books that I should have read. The Reactionary Mind. Corey Robin. Whomst? I feel bad. Oh, a political theorist. That's why I've never heard of them. There's not as much like interaction between psychologists and political scientists as there should be, really, to be honest. But yeah, like there's loads of social psychology research into this stuff, and it's very, very interesting. Also, I might add that to my reading list. I mean, it's, to be fair, it's probably stuff that I all know already, but you know, I like reading different perspectives on the same thing, because I think that's reading other people's interpretations is a really good way to like learn more about your own limitations in your knowledge, if that makes sense. It's something I've been trying to look into a bit to decide if I should be more selfish or not. Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely, if you can get some alternative perspectives, it always helps, always helps. Are all of your streams using the Pomodoro thing? No. So I basically do a Pomodoro stream when I need to get something done and I'm struggling to focus on it. I'd say at the most there'll be like one every other week. But that being said, I am planning what I'm calling a thesis suffer-a-thon, where I'm going to be streaming for an entire week, doing Pomodoros, but then also with goals. So I'll have to do stupid stuff during the break, basically. And you know, the breaks can be extended if I need them to be. The main thing I know about learned helplessness is that supposedly scientists induce depression in rats by creating an invincible robot rat to bully them. They have no way of fighting back, so eventually their sense of agency and their joy for life just died, and they did the bare minimum to survive. Yeah, I think the one that I know is they basically like electrocuted a floor or something, and then I can't remember if it was rats or monkeys or something else. I don't know. They've done these things to every single animal ever, but they electrocuted the floor so that it would just randomly shock them, and there wasn't really any pattern to it. And then basically they just gave up trying to not be shocked. But again, it's not my area, so I don't really know much about it, and it might have also been replication crisis. So the background noise was my shortbread biscuit crumbling in my hands. That is indeed how the cookie crumbled. Unfortunately, we haven't actually done any cookie clicker. I've just realised I was meant to put on cookie clicker and I've failed horribly. Oh dear, oh dear. I could have been idling this whole time. I could have been gaining cookies. Wait. Let's turn that off and then let's put on cookie clicker so that I didn't lie. I didn't lie, see? I told the truth, there's cookie clicker. Okay. There's been experiments with dogs. Yes, dogs. Yes. And the buttons either randomly shot them or gave food. That, I recognise that, yes. I believe that's right. Yeah, they do all sorts of strange things to animals. They didn't actually die, the scientists intervened. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. If you want to hear more things about strange animal experiments, what a way to introduce a collab. I'm going to be doing a collab stream. I know that the time has gone off, I'm ignoring it. I'm going to be doing a collab stream. Why is my cookies broken? Wow, can I not kick off my cookies without it breaking? That's so sad. There we go. I'm going to be doing a collab stream with Father Nutriful, whose YouTube I will find very quickly. And we're going to be talking about mice. We're talking about mice. There you go. Go and subscribe to Fi if you haven't already. We're going to be streaming on Sunday at 3 p.m. GMT. Come and join us. It's going to be a journal club, I think. And no, I know it's going to be a journal club. But I think it's going to be more like an actual journal club, like they are normally in academia, where people actually discuss the paper rather than just reading it. Are you going to get electrocuted? I hope not. I haven't been told of that. If there's shot collars involved, I have not been informed of this. Okay, I can get the kittens. Kittens, cool. Oh, I got a thingy. So nice. And then we want the Lebkuchen, Russian biscuits, gluten-free cookies, tofu cookies. Interesting. Cornflake cookies, hardtack. Okay, cool. And then powered by science. Hell yeah. Just like me, I'm also powered by science. I'm just going to buy all of these, I guess. And then, can I do 100? No. I'm on like I don't even know how many ascensions I'm on at this point. I've got too many hours on this game. It's quite disturbing. Oh. Yay. Achievements. Delicious. Oh no, I overclicked. Oh no, it's because my mic's in the way. I'm so sorry. Sorry for the noise, I'm sorry. Let's see. How do I fix this? It bothers me if they're not like even. It really oh no. I'm gonna have to wait. That's gonna really upset me. I need this fixed. Okay. No, I need it to be a round number, otherwise it upsets me. No. Okay, fixed it. It's all good. It's all good. Let's just quickly power through choosing all of these and then... Oh, more achievements. Cool. There's so many achievements that they start to mean nothing. Do you know what I mean? One more there. Cool. And then we'll buy these upgrades. Okay. Cute. Okay, well, that's our cookie clicker. Actually, no, wait. One more thing. What can I upgrade with my thingies? Or should I just save them? Nah, we'll just save them. Did I even put on a Pantheon? I didn't. Terrible. Okay, I want this one. Wait, do I? Sure. Yeah, I want that one. I don't want to click golden cookies, so I'll do that. Because I've got my shimmering veil on. And then, what else do I want? I don't understand this one. The Cyclus? I don't get it. Like, surely if it's fluctuating between plus 15% and minus 15%, it's just gonna end up being largely neutral. I don't get it. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. I'm going very heavy on the idling. Very, very heavy on the idling. Achievement fatigue, new PhD thesis topic. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if there's papers about that, actually. That would be so interesting. Because I feel like that's such an important part of, like, game design. Because Cookie Clicker has, like, 600 achievements now, I think. And that's just silly. Like, that's too many. So, yeah, I wonder. Anyway, let's put Cookie Clicker away and let's go back to work now. Now I know how my mum feels. Oh dear. Okay, right. I need to go back to editing my paper. I'm actually going to go grab a cup of tea first. So, if you see me with my BRB thingy, this one, you know why. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to leave it up and just go get my caffeine now. So, let's set the timer for 50 minutes. And, no, 45 minutes. I will go get a cup of tea and then I will be back and back to work. But yeah, I hope you'll get some good stuff done. Let me know what you're doing. And yeah, I'll see you in 45 minutes. Hello everyone. How are we all doing? 45 minutes is up. Let's go. It's time for a break. Let me do the thingy. Start. 10. There we go. We've got our 10-minute timer and it's time for cookie clicker. Let's do that. Hide that. Let's bring up the cookie clicker. There we go. We love that. We love that. We love that. Oh, I've got loads of achievements. Hungry for more. Murphy's Wild Guess. And we must go deeper. Amazing. Okay, right. I saw chat going a little bit at the beginning there. Very cool. Oh, and I just unlocked first class citizen too. Cool. So, first of all, thank you for the follow, Juiciest Pineapple 10. And also thank you for the hydrate, Countess Variona. I appreciate that a lot. Let's see. Where did I get to? Acquire caffeine. That was what I saw last, was Teo saying acquire caffeine. Okay, so I wish research papers could dumb down the language used a bit so that a peasant like me could understand what they were talking about. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wish that they would calm down with the fancy language. There's some value to science language because it's very precise. Yes, exactly. And simplifying it could lose some of the nuance and lead to misunderstandings, but they should try for summaries at least. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a big push towards having like lay summaries on papers now, which I think is very, very cool. I love that. Yeah, I'm back. Hello. Hi, Axel. Yeah, no, so, just kind of normal language summaries on papers. Like, I wish that they were a kind of more standard thing, because they're helpful for scientists as well. Like, if we're in a rush, sometimes the abstract is even just too much brain power. Like, you want to be able to read something more simplified. And I know quite a few people that are using like AI to summarize papers, even just summarize abstracts into like bullet points so that they can understand it a bit more clearly. It'd be very cool if they did that. I'm just mad at myself for not understanding it and taking it out on the writers of the paper itself. I mean, some papers genuinely are just written quite badly, to be fair. Like, some of them, yeah, you read it and there's just so much jargon in there. I mean, like Tayo said, there is a reason for the jargon, and like Tayo also said next, like, you know, there's a reason the people that read these things are mostly people who have studied the subject for years. Like, that is very true. Yeah. It's a way of communicating with each other at the end of the day. The journal articles and conferences, they are ways for scientists to communicate with each other. I think, to be honest, I think the crux of the issue is actually that there's not more accessible scientific content. You know, I would love there to be things like more streamers that do science content. I'm pretty sure that I know, in some capacity, a fair chunk of them, at least the VTubers. I think I know most of the VTubers that do science now. There's not many of us. I wish that there was more, but you know, it's a balancing act with your time. You only get so much time in a day, and you know, if you're working at a university, you're expected to spend a chunk of time teaching, and then a chunk of time, you know, doing admin stuff, and then supervising students, so like PhD students, for example, and then you've got like committees that you have to do, and you've got so many emails, and then you also have to do your research as well, which is, you know, kind of a thing. And at the end of the day, science communication just kind of get bumped down the list. Like, it's not really very high up on most people's priorities. Unfortunately, the Twitch science category is flooded with pseudoscience. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's very interesting. My favourite thing was the first time that I went on science and technology, I clicked on it and it took me to like a flat earth stream. It was like at the top, it was a flat earth stream. I was like, wow, okay. Looks like I'm needed in this category. So yeah, it's not nice, it's not good, but it does make me feel at least slightly validated. Like, you know, and when I opened it and I was like, most of the people in this category are not scientists, it's just either random AI stuff or just outright, yeah, pseudoscience. It makes me feel a bit better. I'm not sure anyone's going to come in and be like, oh, psychology, that's not a real science. Why are you in this category? Because I'd literally just be like, go look at the flat earth stream, please. I wish that science educators were more affectable. Affectable? I don't know what that word means. I'm not good at words, despite the fact that words are actually my main job. I'm not very good at them. I don't know many big words beyond the ones that I know for my job. But don't exaggerate every minimal paper in a world-changing revolution. Yeah, it's they do that, and it's a bit of a pain. Well, some of them. To be honest, I think the ones that do that, they're probably the ones that you need to be cautious of, because the science communicators that I have found, largely they are pretty good at conveying the nuance where it's needed. I unlocked mindfulness. Very cute. Very cute indeed. Yeah, I think there is definitely a tendency though for like kind of like wellness gurus and people like that to for more information on this achievement, please refer to its title. Brilliant. There's a tendency for like wellness gurus to kind of dress themselves up as being scientific when they're not. Or like sometimes like so for example, I've seen occasionally like astrophysics and astronomy, they will hype up papers as being the coolest thing ever, and yeah, it's just a way to kind of convey excitement and to clickbait people in, but yeah, it misses the nuance. I'm personally a big fan of nuance, so I talk about these things. You know, I will sit there and read a paper on stream and be like, "This is all of the potential problems with this," and then this is all of the potential good things, and these are some alternative explanations. I find it more interesting that way. I think the Earth isn't flat. I know, right? It's news to me. Let's see what else. Then again, plain prose written in English is an additional skill that's usually outside most researchers' wheelhouse. It's why I think AI summary tools tend to have value. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely not something that we kind of receive training on as standard. I have had training on it, but that's partially because of a job that I had previously, where I was working in healthcare. And then it's also partially because I actively sought out that training, because my area of research lends itself very well to being taken out of context, very horribly out of context. And it also is unfortunately a little bit politicized. And I mean that in the sense of like, it's not necessarily political in itself, but people could use the findings from my research to further their own political arguments, if that makes sense. So I see it as like really, really important as part of my job to like make sure that that is a skill that I have. I don't think I'm amazing at it though. I think I do still have a tendency to like over science the writing. I've written one or two, I think two actually. I've written two like articles that were aimed at a kind of a general audience, and they went okay, but even they were quite heavily politicized, so that was an experience. Yeah, one of them got like picked apart on a strange podcast. It was very odd. It was a very odd experience. That's because science has enough respectability that even its most ardent enemies need to dress up. So true, so true. Although, unfortunately, it is starting to change a little bit. Like, public opinion towards science is not nearly as good as it used to be. We're still like one of the more respected and more trusted professions in, at least in, you know, the Western developed world. But yeah, not so much in low and middle income countries. And also it is starting to slide a bit backwards, even in the West. So that's cute. Training on AI or LLMs. Yeah, so I training on writing for a general audience, but also I think training on either using AI or how it works. I think a little bit of both would be really helpful. Oh, there's a golden cookie, but I can't click it because I'm doing passive. Sag. Because yeah, like even with AI, like I know loads of scientists who don't know how it works. My understanding is still fairly basic. Like my understanding of it is that it's basically like a fancy regression models with loads and loads of layers and loads of parameters, and you have to tweak the parameters very precisely to try and get it to work. and it's like different weightings between the nodes within the regression. That's my basic level understanding of how it works. But I don't have in-depth knowledge, but I think I know enough to be able to work with it and understand the types of output I'd be getting. I've also done a bit of experimenting with prompting, and that can be fun. But yeah, like actual proper training on how to use AI is probably just too new, right? It's probably just not a thing yet. Science, I wish had more interest. I mean, where I am, it's irrational the way that it's looked at, sadly. Oh, that's really sad. Yeah. It is very variable across different countries. It's kind of understandable, though, because when you look back at history, science has been used as a justification to do a lot of interesting things. Interesting in a bad way, to various people. Psychology especially, but also medicine. And even beyond that. So yeah, genetics also has, unfortunately, a bit of a cursed history with it. So I can kind of get it, especially if people are coming from, or like their background is linked to a group that has historically been treated very badly by scientists. I totally get that. But yeah, we need to do a bit more work to improve our image and to actually talk to people. Like, I feel like a lot of the kind of like rhetoric around scientists being elite, I don't know, people that just sit in their ivory tower and research on people and don't really interact with the real world and have cringe political opinions. Like, I mean, it's a stereotype, and obviously there's going to be people who that's true for. But the majority of us are just normal people. Like, we just do our job, and we have our own interests and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we do live in a bit of a bubble, just, I think, on the pure virtue of the fact that our work is really intense. Like, most people I know working in universities are doing 60-hour weeks at least. The record that I've heard is like 70 hours in a week, which is just basically that you just don't get a day off. Yeah, you don't have hobbies, which is sad. But yeah, because of that, I think there's not the time to do the science outreach. So it's not that people don't want to do it, it's that they don't have time in their job, or even in their life in general. And that means that if you've never met a scientist, why would you have an opinion of them that isn't based on stereotypes? You know, it's the same with every other social group. So yeah, I think if we did a bit more science outreach, and more to the point, if the university system actually, you know, gave us more time to do it and, you know, employed a few more people and reduced our workloads a bit, it'd probably be a lot easier. With my focus, I'm very thankful that it has a direct objective. With being aerospace focused, I can show a photo from a satellite saying I designed that. Yeah, that's so cool. It would be so nice to like have like a direct tangible output, but yeah, psychology really doesn't have that. Like, we have papers and data sets and stuff, but like there's never anything like physical that I can hold in my hand, really. I'm kind of interested in developing like an intervention of some sorts, like a psychological intervention, to just so that I have a tangible output, like so that I can at least sit something related to it on my desk and be like, hee, I did that. Because at the minute I'm just going to be like printing out the first page from my thesis and sticking it on the wall or something. Fringe political opinions, like, people deserve respect despite their circumstances. Yeah, I mean, often people's fringe political opinions are because of their circumstances. Overwhelmingly, the people that have those types of political opinions are marginalized in some way, or like suffering. Say, for example, you know, if they're unemployed and they're struggling with being in poverty and they're having mental health problems and those kinds of things. So yeah, I would say definitely do deserve respect in some degree as individuals. The opinions themselves, though, sometimes you can just look at an opinion and be like, okay, that's silly. Like, oh, I will listen to you out of respect for you as an individual, but, you know, I'm never going to believe that. Or if we got paid to do the outreach, so true. I wish we got paid to do the outreach. Also, hi-fi. How are you doing? Okay, I need to scroll back a little bit because I missed a lot of things. Let's see. So much for the 10-minute timer, eh? That's not on... Let's see if I can do another. This is going to turn into 45:15 at this rate. I might just have to update it. Let's see. Green guy and pineapple headed out. Thank you. If you happen to watch back the VOD, thank you both for joining us. Really appreciate it. Actual education. Hello, are you still here? Not sure. Unfortunately, the only way to get funding is by going over the top. Yeah, that's very true. Also, hello. You UCLA physics. That's impressive. Very cool. I am not. My institution is not nearly that prestigious. But yeah, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, very true. Going over the top is the only way to get funding. When you're writing a grant proposal, you basically have to be like, this is the best thing that's ever been done ever. I promise this is the coolest experiment that I will ever do in my life. Nothing will ever beat it. And then the next time you do a grant proposal, you have to be like, that thing that I said was the best thing ever, ignore it. It wasn't the best thing ever. It was pathetic. This is now the best thing ever. Or like, oh, you saw how cool that was? I'm going to expand on it by making this tiny little tweak and I need $500,000 to do it, please. I'm so desperate. Either over the top or rely on a site such as Patreon. I listen to a number of podcasts for science communication that fully rely on Patreon. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, science communication really just doesn't get the funding that it needs. Yeah, it's a bit sad. It's a bit sad that we have to rely on contributions from people, but yeah, it's really just not in our workloads most of the time. So yeah, there's a reason why clickbait works. Probably a good psychology question. I can do an entire lecture on that too. If people are interested in clickbait, add it into the psychologist redeem thingy, and I will add it to my to-do list after the stream. At least one would go through the actual science that underlies individual papers. Do not change the established science overnight. Yeah. So science is a big cumulative effort. So definitely, like single papers, yeah, they're not, unless it's like literally like a massive groundbreaking experiment, like the first CERN paper, for example. But yeah, otherwise they don't. Most of the internet does not have the attention span for slow continual progress. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. I roll my eyes every time I see the huge fusion breakthrough. No, not the fusion. And your PhD was in fusion plasmas. No. Oh, that must be so frustrating. At the audience and the subject, we do indeed do the impossible and got material back from an asteroid. Yeah, we did. Okay, recommendation algorithms definitely want clickbait. Yes. Although they're just capitalizing on existing human cognitive biases, to be fair. And also it depends, kind of like Doc Rex said, it kind of depends on whether they follow through with the clickbait. Like if they say something that's interesting and then actually, it matches, then that's fine. There are very powerful people who want to suppress uncomfortable science like meteorology, sociology, and the like. Very, very true. It's happening actively in a whole bunch of countries. Off the top of my head, I can think of Hungary, Turkey, kind of a little bit Poland. Obviously, like I live in Europe, so I mostly know Europe. But yeah, it's definitely happening, unfortunately. I have to get to work. I'm going to drop a lurk and listen in. Thank you, Variona. Thank you. Enjoy your lurk. We do have a lurk command, actually. So if you want to use that, you're welcome to. But last time somebody did it, it was broken. So, yeah. You have way more respect for people than me. I would lose all respect for people that take on an extremist position. I think it's probably just because of my research. I have worked with a lot of people with quite extreme opinions on various topics. That's all I can say without doxing my research area. But yeah, I think I'm exposed to it enough, and then I've interacted enough with them, and I've read enough of the research about why these form as well, that kind of it lets me take a step back and not be too personally, what's the word? Not stressed, but like, I don't get too offended or anything like that because, yeah, like, whatever they say, I've probably seen worse at this point. Oh no, I've done it again. There, okay, there we go. Okay. Curses, highway, expressway, a hyperspace expressway. It's a matter of perspective. Okay, cool. So, oh, I never turned off my little thingy. Whoops. My bad. Well, that's fine because we're going back to work now. So, I'm going to set another 45-minute timer and then I will. Cookie clicker's still up. And then, all my things have disconnected. Sag. Yeah, no, sorry. I'll do another 45-minute timer. We can get some work done, and then we can come back and maybe talk a little bit more. But I need to check what's happening within the household. I think there's also going to be an ad break at some point. I will run that now, and then hopefully it won't be disruptive towards the end. But yeah, so I'll do like a 3-minute ad break. You're not missing anything. You're just going to be missing like lo-fi music. I am so sorry. I need to fund my research. I'm so sorry. But yeah, 45 minutes, and then I will see you then.
Research Fund. Let's go.
Hello. Okay, I'm very sorry to interrupt the Pomodoro. Unfortunately, something has come up, unforeseen. So I will need to end the stream. However, what I can do is I can raid us into somebody who is also doing Pomodoro. Let me see. Where are they at? Where are they at? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for the follow, Doc Rex. Yeah, unfortunately, this is science. Every now and then, like, something will happen, like, suddenly there's an experiment to do with, or suddenly, somebody's, like, messaging you, or you need a sudden meeting, stuff like that. It happens, it happens. So, yes, I'm gonna raid us into, Tom Astrosci. It looks like they're on lunchtime at the minute. But that's okay, that's okay. The risk of streaming while work? Yeah, true. So true. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it is unfortunately the risk of streaming while working. It is what it is. It happens. But yeah, I'll raid into Tom Astrosci. He is a physics PhD student. He's on lunchtime at the minute, so it looks like there's roughly 12 minutes before he comes back. So I will say, we raid in, go and grab yourself some food, or get up, stretch your legs, do something like that, and then he'll be back to do Pomodoros. I will probably be lurking in his chat as well. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for coming. It means a lot. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you again sometime. But otherwise, let me start the raid on Tom. There we go. Okie dokie. But yeah, have a lovely day. If you're getting stuff done, I hope you're nice and productive. And yeah, and let me know if you've got any psychology questions. I'm always happy to answer them. So I will send you off to Tom now. Thank you so much for joining, and yeah, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.